intertwined, and you're not listening. It is your choice to make a little mockery, it won't do. Further down the line, still surrendering, trying harder to forgive you. Candlelight has gone out. Some will win and some will lose. Nothing much else to say. Thought I was searching for something. Door has closed, not a sound. Take a look as I am now. Still I smile but don't speak. Will you please slow down? Slow down.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the CEA, and of course with a little bit of help of GLG, and after today, a lot of help from GLG sometimes it seems. We have an amazing matchup between two different colleges today. We have UCLA versus PU, but don't worry, they're not going to stink up too much here today. My name is Keg, and with me today is with the stunningly beautiful Bonsai himself. Hello, Bonsai, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing wonderful, thank you, Keg.
I got you. So, to be completely honest with you guys, we don't know a whole lot about either of these teams, but I think that means we're having a nice blank slate for all of us. We're going to be discovering this all together. It's kind of like going to the doctor's office. They might find something on you, and it's all exploratory together. But you know what? This isn't going to be too invasive. It's all going to be nice and fun between each and every one of us, and hopefully both teams can play to the best of their abilities. That, of course, the abilities will be the first map going to be Bind. It's going to be Bind, I believe we did ultimately decide, or the teams decided, that PU would be picking the map and UCLA would end up defending it. So that's going to leave PU in a very interesting spot of them attacking Bind first. And already, I would say that's kind of the wrong foot to step on going into the set.
I mean, defense is always one of those things where it's very much dependent on, in my opinion, how well your setups are, because some of the sites, especially on Bind, it's either you have it locked down, or it's going to be like all of a sudden they're just going to 5-man rush in, kill one person, all of a sudden the spike's planted, and yeah, you're in a very sticky situation, especially in those pistol rounds, especially if they're doing like a shorty rush or something like that. It gets disgusting, but very curious to see how it goes out, because I also, as you were saying, have never seen these two teams play before, especially since this is the inaugural season of CEA Valorant. So it's going to be a very interesting time overall, and I'm hyped for the game we got going ahead of us.
Yes, we are like the founding fathers of CEA Valorant, forging the path for the future casters 10, maybe even 20 years from now. Maybe our kids, Bonsai, will be casting in our wake once we've long
Maybe.
retired. Once we've gone on to cast, the World Series, by then maybe even the intergalactic series of CEA Valorant collegiate leagues. But of course, that's a long time from now, possibly. Right now, we're going to focus on the present. It's going to be UCLA, of course, going to be defending on Bind, putting themselves in a great area. But the second map number 2, will be UCLA's pick. And it's going to be Haven. To really no surprise, it's usually down to Bind, Haven, and Ascent, being the 3 maps that are most commonly played of the 4. But it looks like Split again is going to get the short end of the split stick this time, yet again. But Haven going to be going over Ascent as well. It's going to be a 3 bomb site map if you're unfamiliar, and it's going to be interesting depending on how map number 1 goes. Either it's going to be a very close matchup, just like Bind, or it's going to be a very dominant matchup for one side or the other. And again, a lot of that comes down to the chemistry of both teams and how close that scoreline for Bind will be.
Mm-hmm. And one thing to note about Valorant is if you are in the zone, it's a very back and forth game. So we could very much have a game where one half is just one team running it down. Absolutely. You think it's going to be a 13-0, but it could very well quickly just even out right after that half switch.
Absolutely.
Especially since a lot of teams actually just are better at one side rather than the other, and they're just waiting for their chance to actually be able to take care of that, their power side, if you will. But
of course, any pro player is going to say, no, what? No, I'm a perfect player. I'm great at both sides. But we all know they're usually lying. And of course, there's usually some outlier games where they dominate on both sides, or some where they are a little lackluster as well. Of course, CEA does not originate from Valorant. They do come from, I believe, Siege. So if you do come from the Siege background, this is your first time watching Valorant, hello. But secondly, also, we will be, I think we'll try to go a little bit slower this time because it is the inaugural season for those that may be newer to Valorant. Of
Mhm.
course, if you're already a Prodigy Pro, just scratching at your neck, trying to get your next fix to Valorant action competitively, well, I'm sorry, that might have to be the next CEA broadcast.
Yeah. We will try to explain everything as best we can to the best of our knowledge, but obviously we do not have we are not Radiant players, so we will only be able to tell as much
Speak for
as we know.
yourself.
Are you Radiant? Last time
I'm gold.
I mean, same. I'm gold one, so I can't really give much more sass because it's like I graduated from George Mason last year, so our team, it's sitting there and they're sitting there. It's like a bunch of like high level players, and I'm sitting there. It's like, wow, these people know a lot more about the game than me. And I'm sitting there, it's like, hi guys, I show up to plugs. It's like, I'm ready to get absolutely smashed. Let's go.
Well, you know what they say: if you can't play the game, you cast it.
Yes, exactly, and that is why I'm here because I couldn't play Siege, so I went and casted that. And can't play Valorant, so I made the natural switch and started this one too.
Fair enough. Now, I'm not sure how the teams are doing right now in the lobbies. I'm assuming they're doing pretty good. They must be warming up. They've had, by now, plenty of time to kind of talk things over, figure out what's going on. But it looks like we will be beginning map number 1. It's going to be Bind once again, UCLA, starting off on the defensive side. And of course, PU going to need to pull some weight early on the defensive side. Bind, of course, being the most defender-sided map in Valorant. Now you might say around 50, I believe 1% right now. It doesn't seem like it's too much, but considering the margin of where most maps should be balanced to be 50-50, even having that 1 or sort of 1% is a kind of a scary margin to have. Right off the bat, we do see PU running a very interesting comp, especially the Killjoy, going to be number 1 coming out from Spider. That's my number 1 choice to look at. Bonsai, I'm not sure about you. And well, interestingly, we have 2 breaches on UCLA side.
I was like, wait a second, that's not how that works.
It's like the Pokemon Ditto.
Yeah, you're just sitting there confused. It's like, how does this work? What
It's a Brimstone. They both have beards.
Okay.
They both have beards.
Although I would say Brimstone's beard is a slight bit better than the Breach beard. Just my personal opinion.
I would agree. Yeah, I mean, I wish I had both of their beards, to be honest, but definitely Brimstone.
Yeah, I wish I could grow a beard. That's top of the list. I wish I could actually grow one.
Oh man, it's certainly not easy. But what's up?
Oh, man. I am just very excited. This is one of the maps that I enjoy playing the most on. It's probably one of the most common maps actually to play on, in my opinion.
Right there. Right there.
And most commonly, I think you're actually going to probably see a hookah push. Although, judging from how they're setting up right now, it is going to look like a short push to start things off here. The spike's getting set up over by short, and Breach is going to try to get the flash off really early, maybe an aggressive push. And the aggressive push does come in with the frenzy. Turtles gets one on the smash and yoink. Early 2 kills coming out of him. Jet pulling strong. Might get a third here. Kills the Killjoy. Oh my word, 3K to start off the game. Absolutely massive. Can he get another one? Oh, he engages one. Gets one. Oh, he gets a 4K. Can he get a 5th? Can he finish it off?
That's the $1 million question right now. Can he find that final kill? Turtles looking out for blood. It's going to be the Omen last alive, just running away with their life, or what little life they had before, for Turtles starting right off the rip with a fantastic ace to start off collegiate CEA and Valorant. Bonsai, my God.
That was a flex if I have ever seen one. That was him throwing down. It was him immediately. Breach went in and flash, got the flash off, flashed, I believe, 2 people, and immediately just dashed straight into 3 of them. And I think the saving grace for him and not getting absolutely smoked after the dash in was the jet smoke, making sure that he could get in there and smoke off and cause a little confusion, and then got the 2K initially. And I guess decided Frenzy was just not in the cards, but amazing ace to start things off. Very aggressive showing, but might get aggressed on here as the Killjoy goes 1, gets the first one, manages to get out somehow. I'm not quite sure how that went down. 1 takes the teleporter, and the flash comes at the long. We'll see no one. Rice, unfortunately, finding no dice there. And now we're getting back to a little bit of a neutral game.
You can only shake so much dice before you get the snake, guys. It's going to be Turtle that barely gets away, and unfortunately, PU already licking their wounds a little bit. The Killjoy goes down, and of course, holding the spike themselves, it's going to be the Cypher, barely clinging on to what little life he has left. There's going to be no heals on the side of PU, and they are trying to make a very slow and somewhat calculated push going into long, but unfortunately, they're being blinded out on double kill from Rice, continuing on the huge string of events coming out from UCLA's side, and already going off to a 5v2. It's not a great look for PU, kind of being forced off into very different 1v1 centrals, and it's going to be Yoink who does find one, however, still going to be relegated back to that 1v4 area. Spectre only going to do so much, only getting a few pop shots. It's going to be Noylan, I don't know how to say their name. It's going to be taking them down, and I hope I pronounced that correctly because that's going to be 2 in a row for UCLA.
Yeah, amazing play coming out of this UCLA roster this early on, as we saw very early aggression coming out of Turtles. I'm gonna keep saying Turtles because it's one letter off, but it's Turtles, I'm pretty sure. But just immediately starting off with a 6-0 start for him on the Jet, showing why Jet is such a force to be reckoned with, especially just early on in these rounds. The early aggression with the dashes, smoke combination. And we even saw Rice picking up one. And right as I said, Rice got no dice. He comes up and finishes up, re-rolls a little bit, and gets a double kill after the second peek into B long, and now it's going to be a lot of aggression on the Prosdox. Yoinks takes down. Oh, but two, almost gets the third, but will not be able to get the third as the rest of his team follows in. Just sheer numbers winning out that battle for him, and there will be a rotation of the remaining 3 people from UCLA going over onto A side, but the site is already taken by the 3 remaining members of this Purdue University roster. And we have knives coming out from the Jet. Earls knows where it is. He gets 1 kill with the knives, doesn't see the rest of the team, knows one is in showers based upon this cursor movement, doesn't want to push in. Oh, gets 1 onto the one in U-Haul, and the final kill is taken down from the, I believe that's the Molotov of the Brimstone to finish it out. And that will be a 3rd round on the board for UCLA.
Fantastic work again coming up from UCLA, starting off on the right foot indeed, going to be on that defensive side. And yeah, they have strung together 3 rounds in a row. Of course, this isn't quite Rainbow Six where they're already coming close to ending their ranked game. No, in fact, it's going to be 12 rounds in the first half before they switch sides. But even then, on the defense, you need to rack up as many rounds as you can, because switching over to the attack, just like Siege, is not an easy feat whatsoever.
Well, I mean, we did say that we were excited for a high-octane match, and I'd say we got that so far.
Oh, absolutely. It is like shaking a giant can of soda and watching it all spill out and explode all over your little hands. It's going to be a beginning rush, or not a rush, I apologize. It's going to be a little bit of a short little brisk walk for PU side as they split push their way through A and B. Of course, the Omen unsure it seems whether to go A or B. It's going to be him rotating a little bit to the left side, catering himself towards the B, but Turtles is waiting out for blood, trying to bait themselves out for that Cypher to just peek on by and make a mistake where the Phoenix will swing around. Again, kind of like Siege, it's swing or be swung when it comes to the meta right now with Valorant, and someone's got to make that first move, Bonsai.
Yeah, and usually it's at this point in time, it's whoever's making the first moves getting the first kill, but Breach gets the kill onto Sense. I don't know what that icon is, but it does look like it did hurt because they did die, but we will see early kill coming out here for UCLA, making it much easier on them to actually get through this.
Absolutely. Right now, with only 40 seconds left on the clock, the PU attackers are taking in their sweet time trying to push through Hookah. Unfortunately, the more time it takes, the more opportunities to rotate around. Noylan, however, taking down Yoink, and that's going to be the rest of the people inside Hookah relatively trapped. The Killjoy is going to be on short, taking down Kwan, but will that be enough? Possibly, yes. Facing off at a 1v1 is going to be Pros Doikis taking Spider down, and suddenly what's left of Hookah is all that remains on PU's side. They could try switching around all they want, but unfortunately, no. Surrounded again through the face of death. It's going to be UCLA stringing together not 1, not 2, but I don't know about you, Bonsai, if you've watched Sesame Street, but winning 4 rounds in a row for their side.
Yeah, and multiply that too, and you got Turtles kills right now. He is on fire right now. He is 8-0 right now. And as at a contrast, the next highest person on this team is Nojin, which is what I'm going to say his name is until I'm told otherwise. Nojin is the answer in my brain. But you know, he's the second highest person on his team, and he still has half the kills that Turtles has.
Pretty impressive efforts. Pretty impressive effort so far. We do see a much more aggressive push coming out this time from PU's side. Split pushing through Long and through Hookah itself. Only 2 bodies are going to be on B this time. Probably fully expecting an A-rush, but Thorud, the teleporter, M1 finds Fooder, and that's going to be a strong opening pick, taking down yet again one of the the only main lurker on PU's side. If one had to be a playmaker, it would have been that Omen, but unfortunately, he's going to be in the ground, back into the nether realm where he belongs. Of course, Bonsai continues on.
And we have another kill coming in there. Center actually gets killed really quickly, and Prozodix is in a 1v2 situation now. Actually, take that back. It's the Reina in a 1v2 of Senor, and it's going to get a little interesting here as the Breach does know where they are. They do know that he is in Garden, and lots of things are coming through. It's going to be the overheal coming in, but he's in a very good situation right now. As there is the very low HP of Omen, who he might have seen inside of the tube, but still get. He got the spike. He has opportunity here, but we'll decide to take the teleporter to rotate back around to A. And that is, I believe, in my mind, the correct move. But he's gonna have to deal with this Breach that's coming through mid right now. He's gonna meet him on short. It's gonna get very interesting here. Breach deciding to take his time as the cam gets looked at from the Cypher, but nothing of note yet. Oh, takes the teleporter back. The Jukes McGrooves here, man. It is breaking their ankles. Might get the spike off here, but might actually get picked off by the Breach. But will go down, and now it is in a 1v2 situation with Empress mode activated. The ult of Reyna has been popped, and now, ooh, he sees one. Will not be able to get it, but as he turns around, he has the opportunity to go for the other one. Nothing as of yet, and this is in a very tense situation. Can he pull it off? Gets the headshot on the one. We'll get the heal. Now he has to take out the other one. Oh my goodness, clutch situation in the 4K, no less. Reyna with the overheal, ending at 150 HP. The heals came through, and the round came through for Purdue.
Completing seemingly the impossible was PU bringing it back. Purdue Owl. It seems like their citations are in line now. Hopefully, though, that can keep going. The momentum needing to keep going after losing 4 rounds in a row. The eco for their attacking side, of course, not really in the best position, but they're able to full buy this time. And had they lost that last round, their economy would have been even more worse. Of course, right off the bat, we do see the Jet on PU side starting off with her knives out, but no, Turtles instead gonna be shutting down the Killjoy. Almost a Dokkaebi again. Gonna be shutting her down in her prime. No gadgetry able to be used, and such a strong support character just gonna be completely gone, especially for the post plan. Not gonna be in play anymore.
Yeah, I think someone actually didn't buy, if I read that scoreboard correctly. I think someone's still running around with a classic somewhere, but with a heavy push towards U-Haul, the ult from Cypher's gonna go down still. Ooh, but Rice spams through the smoke, will get the kill onto Cypher. So Cypher does in fact now have no Brim, and he is down, but quickly to refrag that. It is Yoink coming out with the jet knives. Going really aggressively here towards B to make sure that the rest of his team goes. The spike is sitting there. She decides to hang back and watch the teleporter for the inevitable rotate, but little does she know it's coming from CT right now. Reyna full peeks into it. Really awkward there, not maybe knowing that they were there. Hellfire goes down. Nets nothing now, but the spike is down, and Yojin gets the kill into Fooder. No food for you. Soup Kitchen is closed, and Turtles gets another kill into Yoink. Jet clone down, proving that he is in fact the better Jet. And that will be a 5th round for UCLA, getting the halves for each of the remaining players on their team.
Well, looks like the momentum was stopped in its tracks, but there needs to be more coal in the engine for Purdue. They cannot give up here, especially with a well under a way of the first quarter of the game going handedly in the hands of UCLA. So far, it's been working really well, and we haven't really seen too many different strategies coming out from UC's side. It's mostly just winning those gunfights very handedly, and strong aggression, of course, coming out from Turtles and accompanying from Rice.
Yeah, it's really a one-man show. He's died a single time. His KD is 11. That is something of note for sure, and I really cannot stop talking about it, because it really is one of those ridiculous things. We've had 6 rounds, and he's been netting almost 2 kills per round, which is an absurd number. But a heavy push into CT coming in from Rice, trying to get a little early aggression going off with his Vandal and his flashes, but he actually does not know that one is pushing here. Actually, look at the one tap on the Spider. Poor Spider going down just immediately to that Vandal. The one-shot headshot really pulling through strong for him.
Yeah, Spider's not been having a good game so far. Most of the time ending up being the first frag to go down in not so much their favor. It's going to be Smash, of course, following up a little bit too. Going to be finding themselves blinded out, but no. Of course, on the other side near the garage, or I'm sorry, the bathrooms, it's going to be yet another to go down, and the kill feed is going to be blue going on to red. Only the Cypher left alive. He was blinded out earlier, and once he recovered from his concussion, he realizes all of his friends are dead. It's a 1v5 right now, not able to secure not even a single kill, it seems. It's going to be Quan that finds Smash at the very end of the round. Yet again, another flawless round coming out from UCLA's side. Again, there's not really much to say other than just a really dominant performance. Able to take the gunfights when they can, and like rounds that we just saw, able to win them out flawlessly without even really taking much damage at all.
Yeah, and it's really just showing in their economy as well. Max almost max to 9K in this game, and it's almost gone to max on two of the people on the side of UCLA right now, and it's just absolutely filthy play out of them with MX Quan having 8K and then 9K coming out on almost 9K, 100 under. I don't know. Some fancy math was done there, but it was cool, man. A lot of money on the UCLA side, so they have the ability to be aggressive as they want without really too much repercussions, except for losses on the board. But I don't think they really care about it at this point. There's 5 rounds up right now, and it's just going for it at this point, it seems.
If you're in Smash's position right now, you are not having a good time being blinded out, not by the brimstone smokes, not just the jet smokes, but being blinded out by bullets as well. As No Jin does find a direct headshot straight into his skull. It's only gonna be a 2v5 once again. The Jet and the Omen finding themselves in a very familiar position again, trying to push into hookah, but unfortunately, though no one being in hookah, they are still alone by themselves. Able to push up, yes, but the Cypher's waiting for the huge rotate. The Breach waiting for the huge rotate on A as well. They are effectively stuck, and yes, Purdue does have an Omen teleport ult on their repertoire, but what benefit can it bring right now in a 2v5? Well, Bonsai, I think the answer to that is not at all.
I definitely agree with that. They have 30 seconds left on the clock, and while they do have a Vandal and an Op
30
on
seconds
the side
left.
of Purdue right now, I really don't think that they're able to get much out of this other than maybe some economy damage, as it is so late in the round, and they know that no one is currently over in their spawn, except there is the room of Cypher, but the bot hasn't spotted him out yet. May not even at the rate he's going, but does know that they are in mid, at least to some extent. But the bot will actually spot him
10
out, which will
seconds
give away his
left.
position. But it's, I believe, too little too late for this Purdue side. They got 5 seconds left. Plant takes 4, and they're officially out of time to plant, so they're just saving, it looks like, at this point, which is causing a lot of aggression coming out of UCLA, or perceived aggression, at least. It looked like they're going to push up, but it does look like they aren't going to risk it. Oh, maybe one little Quan peek here. Oh, does see him, but wasn't able to get the shots off.
I mean, from the perspective of Purdue, you really have to take in consideration that you've only won 1 round out of 7, or I'm sorry, out of the 8 rounds you've had so far. So holding on to the op for dear life is something you absolutely need to do. And of course, holding on to the Vandal too helps a lot. Fooder going 1-7 right now. He needs to hold on to any heavy weaponry that he absolutely can, because getting that extra money is not going to be too common for him in this first half, it seems. He's only been able to get 1 kill so far. Really, all of what we've seen coming out from Purdue rests on the shoulders of the Reyna and the Jet. The 2 fraggers, of course, doing their jobs, but the support players really struggling to sink under the water.
Yeah, and it's really these support players that are really coming through, and you can see the difference in the team score. The support players on UCLA have been doing an amazing job, with the Breach getting that initial flash for the Jet to push through in that first round, netting the eventual ace for Turtles. So, and then the smoke's coming out just in the key moments, and then while Nojin hasn't actually gotten anybody dead with his ult yet, he's been very on point with these Molotovs and other CC controls that he has. Especially, like, we saw him get a kill with the Molotov in one of the earlier rounds, so it's just all these support players, excuse me, really coming up and putting their part down. We will see an execute coming onto the A site right now. 1 kill goes to Nojin. The wide peak does actually see 1, but we'll get hit by the op, and it's just a massive play coming out of Turtles. Can he do anything? But might actually just get domed by this judge of the Spider, and yes, and Spider does in fact judge him down. It is a 1v3 situation now from Quan here. Then he pulls something out, and the answer is no, as Yoink yanks his last hope away. And it is another round on the board, the second for Purdue. Maybe a comeback, yet to see, but we will see as soon as these rounds start racking up, as we do only have 3 rounds left in the half, and as I was saying earlier, these teams can be very much biased towards these sides. The defender is, at least in my opinion, a little bit easier to actually get off on this map.
And that was a very interesting last round that we just witnessed. Despite having a 4-stack on B site, UCLA were not able to catch out the round. It was PU that were able to really bring it back towards the very end, not only bolstering their economy a little bit more, but also able to win yet again another B site. So far, Purdue's not able to win a single A site bomb plant. They've only done it once on round 2, and it was swiftly diffused. Of course, as we're starting the next round again, we are seeing a very similar strat of just full sending it through the bathrooms, and of course, someone's going to have to come out there as a bathroom warrior. Turtle's going to be rotating around towards Heaven's side with that operator in hand. That's exactly how I feel as well. It's going to be the operator waiting around to see who's going to peek out first. The Leer in hand. It's going to be Senor who finds M. Quan right off the rip. But where is Turtles? Is he going to clap back? No, he's blinded out completely and not able to land the shot. Spike plant's going to go down. Turtles, of course, playing patient and stoic as can be. Not able to secure one nearby, but able to get one far in the distance. Spider goes down and Proskis follows up as well. But Smash, of course, finding the return fire. And return fire indeed that leads to a team triple, leading all down to a 3v1 against UCLA.
Yeah, and it's really up to all up to Cypher here, as he is the last man alive, but it is looking like he's just going to wait for exit frags, as he does have 30 HP, and while 30 HP may give him a dream, he does not have much of one at this point, with 3 players remaining with essentially full health, and the Phantom, which while it is a great gun, it's not one of those that can just turn a round just spraying right through the head. But ooh, might actually get one on a Jet, not even. Then we'll actually die to the Spike. Oh, heartbreak. Just absolute heartbreak for him. Thought he was going to be able to make it out, and actually was on the edge of the blast radius, but will eventually go down to that. And we do have ourselves a 7-3 map right now.
It's definitely not as bad as it used to be. Stringing together 2 rounds in a row now, it's going to be Purdue able to get 2 in a row, something they haven't not been able to do before, and further making me eat my own words by not only winning on an A bomb site, but also having the economy now to support not just 1, but 2 different operators. Spider this time commonly been picked off first at the beginning of each round. Going to be rocking the op this time, which is interesting to say the very least, but we're seeing the same headstrong movements once again going towards the middle into Hookah's side. Of course, it's going to be the Reyna and the Jet, each on opposite ends, waiting for someone to catch each other out, but unfortunately not going to come to too much fruition.
Yeah, and additionally on top of this, if UCLA loses this round, it's going to be a very interesting economy situation. As while we were talking about them having almost max money about 2 rounds ago, that was 2 rounds ago, and now they got nothing to their name almost. It's a soft buy right. It might be a full buy right now, but if they don't win this round, it's going to be a very soft buy coming up next time. But Nojin gets Smash taken down with a headshot from Vandal. It is Spider with the op here, looking to see if he can make anything happen on this push. And very nice angles coming out here, but we'll get blocked out by that secondary smoke that comes down from the Brimstone. And they do know where they don't know where Spike is. And the Spike is actually rotating, speak of the devil, but there is one in U-Hauls who could play spoiler to this whole endeavor with Breach. Oh, he's gonna peek. He's looking for the peek.
30 seconds.
Man. Oh, there we go. Rolling Thunder.
Timing.
Rolling Thunder going down. Senor finds M. Quan. That's going to be free real estate to plant onto the A site. The full team rotation coming around from the back. It's going to be UCLA stuck in the CT area and having to relegate themselves, trying to find those peaks, but the Senor tries to go for it, takes down Proskis, but Nojin claps back immediately. The Killjoy ult going to be going down, denying straight up that plan from happening for a few more seconds, but that gives enough time for Purdue to spread themselves out and hold those angles. Like you said earlier, Bonsai, it was great angles indeed, but Turtles is able to find 1. Fooder able to clap back and find 2, but Rice, in the end, saving the day. But is it going to be too little too late? The answer, potentially, yes. No, he is going to get it. That's going to be yet again another round of defuse on A site. Again, the last one we had seen had been so many rounds ago, but rewriting history, a very closer chapter this time, but rewriting history nonetheless for the final round of the first half between the 2 teams.
And this is looking great for UCLA, is they're really rolling these rounds together, and it's just honestly it almost looks one-sided, to be honest, as these Purdue rounds have been coming very, very close, where it's either all or nothing for their team counts, where it's they either lose half their team in one go and then lose the round, or they go in and the rounds they win, they're going in very cleanly and they get out with 5 or 4 people remaining on their team. But they have to keep the count up for their team if they want to get back in this. As people keep dying, it's going to get harder and harder to actually get this back. Especially once they're on defense. Like, they have a chance. Ooh, right as I say that, Senor takes down Quan, healing his soul to make sure that he is full health for the next engagement. But then Cyber Cage will smoke off the rest of that, making them hold their push. But we do see heavy presence towards this A site. But it is the question of, will they juke the other team out? And it looks like it is. The majority of the players. Ooh, Jet almost gets taken down, but will actually get lit up just a little bit. Killjoy throwing out the Nano Swarm to make sure that she can't push forward, but will Ooh, gets spammed a little through the smoke. This is a very intense thing. As Jet is the only one on site. The alarm bot will push forward, gets Jet vulnerable, and now it is a free site for this Purdue attacking side.
Free real estate going down once again. It's gonna be the bomb plant to go down onto B site, but the rotate coming out from the Jet. Not only the Jet, but Rice as well, trying to quick draw McGraw, sneak their way around Solid Snake style, but it's be Turtles caught down in their prime. Again, an unfavorable position for UCLA right now. One final Valiant push gonna be going to fruition, but not checking the copy. It's gonna be Hooter finding one, but only one before the trade-off. Yoink it all, of course, gonna yoink it all away in the final round of the first half. It's gonna be them putting themselves at 4-8. Definitely not the most favorable position, but at least a huge comeback for them towards the end of the round. It's gonna be Purdue needing double the rounds that they were at or against UCLA going to the second half, but at least now they got 4 on the board and they're on the more advantageous side.
Yeah, and honestly, what a half coming out of UCLA that time. It was very strong to start and a very almost strong to end, unfortunately, but did not get that last round of the half. That did go to Purdue, but Turtles really putting on a show here with just hyper aggressive, backed up by his team Jet play here, which is really how Jet's supposed to be played. Jet is supposed to be one of those high impact fragger type agents that you're supposed to be just basically running it down, but in style. As we do see here, as Turtles goes running up, but does get Omen blinded and will miss his target inside of U-Hauls, but that is still man down on both sides as the trade comes through from Nojin to Senior and Senior onto Rice. But Spike does go down, so it is still net win in the attacker side, but Spider almost gets one, does get one. Narrowly misses. I take it back. Just his aim gets it, but Quan will take down Spider, ending his reign of terror. Quan on another one with a frenzy. Oh, almost hits the other one. It's very this reload. The reload betrays him, giving Purdue their first round of the half and the first round of the half, bringing it up to 8-5. And oh man, that was looking so good for UCLA in the beginning.
8-5 indeed. That's exactly what you want to see for the team that hasn't had as many points as UCLA. Purdue able to string together another round, the first one on the second half. That's exactly what you want to see. They won the final round of the first half. They've brought it back into the second half as well. Yoink all remaining on the Marshall this round, and it's going to be another save coming out from UCLA's side. They have some buffer room. They're able to go for the pistols, and if they lose this round, it's not the end of the world, but every round they lose without another win, and this, of course, might sound a little complicated, is going to be better for Purdue because they'll be closer on the scoreline.
Yeah, and one thing to note, though, is that Yoink does have the Marshall, and a Marshall will one-shot you if you do not have armor, and that is something to be very scared of, as this UCLA side has no armor, just upgraded pistols at the most, so it could turn very, very nasty for this UCLA team on this attack. But Yoink is actually watching exactly where they're coming from. The one-way comes down out of the Omen. It is only a matter of time to see if they decide to push the smoke or if they wait for it to go down and put a smoke down of their own. And it will be dipping away in about 5. No, now the attack does come through, but does get the headshot. Oh my goodness, onto Cypher. Rice soon to follow on the floor. Bodies dropping all around. Senior gets another one. Senior popping off with his Reyna. The push absolutely failing for UCLA. The spike is down. All of the Turtles. Turtles gets one but can't finish the other. And another quick round for Purdue coming out. The run back is real.
Purdue is on an absolute spree right now, 3 in a row now, and keep in mind, UCLA has only been able to win 4 in a row before conceding their 5th round to Purdue's very first win. If Purdue can keep this up, they have a very good running back in this race, where before it was a 4-1, and of course that was eventually a 4-7, but they have brought it back handedly, and only in that time did we see UCLA win 1 round in between all of that. But those one-ways going down, the visibility going pretty much to 0, we're seeing a bit of a deviation from the normal strategy. Spike gonna go completely on the ground. It's gonna be a push once again going into B.
Yeah, and it's really getting down to these pop-off moments for each of these teams. Like, first half, it was Turtles going pop-off on the Jet. Now it's the Jet of Purdue, and also a Senior. Senior gets the early kill on the poor Cypher again, the opening kill recipient yet again, and just absolutely not having a good time on this side of the half. But it is worthwhile to note that the entirety of UCLA is on this B side, But if they do try to rotate with the spike, and it does actually look like Spike's going to go towards B, the Omen is still on the other side of the map as well as Reyna, but Reyna is pushing through, so we'll know in a very short moment that there is no one going towards A, so the quick rotate should come through, but the quick execute comes through just the same. Tripwire will get one, but quickly destroyed, and the execute comes down as Rice gets the kill on a smash. Smash is down, Jet is almost down, but Quan saves his life as he takes on Spider, but the push coming through even further. Another one to drop. Just these crossfires coming through for sure, and Rice gets the triple. Dice coming out, and all up to Senior to see if he can get any little bit of a party started here. And it is looking grim, but the HP is low on UCLA, and full heals are there for Senior, but it is looking like he does want to save maybe. But maybe just get a little bit of economic damage going down, but Breach will throw down his ability to make sure that try to get a little bit of a peek out there, but they do know he is in Hookah, obviously, from the amount of Spire going towards this area, as well as Breach looking like he just saw him right there. So I guess his only option really here is to just wait for exit kills, but he's taking a very aggressive avenue towards that. Right as he turns around, we'll get penetrate headshot through a wall by Turtles. That is unfortunate.
Definitely not the position you want to be in towards the very end of the round. Senor, however, going to be going toe-to-toe up against Turtles, and the amount of kills they both have. He's going 15 and 11 so far. Turtles slowly climbing up that death counter again, 17 and 7. It's actually pretty close when it comes to your two top duelists able to duke it out up against one another. It really comes down to who of those two goes down first, and of course, situations like that, UCLA able to keep everybody alive towards the very end of the round, just kind of making PU go into an absolute corner and be destroyed on out. But here we go, once again, another push coming out onto B site. It's going to be a slower, more fragmented push yet again. The Breach going to be slowly making his way up. Spider watching inside Hookah, but no. Nobody gonna immediately be in a hookah. It's gonna be Jet, who does come a little close, but gonna be taking their time as well. Spider, of course, could be waiting for that early approach, or could be the aggressive one to initiate the fight. But instead, Spider does find that initiation. Not sure who started it first, but the double kill leading into it. Smash, of course, following up as well, is gonna be a swift end and seemingly to the defensive line of UCLA's team.
Yeah, Smash really coming through there, and Spider as well. Spider actually getting the double there. Now it's all down to these final two members of UCLA. This is just not their half, as the Breach does throw out of bathroom his Earthshaker and does not get anything out of it. The teleport coming through very, very close, but also making him very paranoid of where he went. We'll go to check U-Hauls, but little does he know that he is surrounded and with little chance of actually getting out of here. Ooh, but oh my goodness.
30 seconds left.
Flicking him and ending his life, his career, and his time in this round. All of the Cypher now, and it's looking like he wants to take a little nap right now and make sure he has his guns and abilities for the next round.
I don't blame him. I mean, I would too. Pro Doski's last one alive in a 1v5 situation. It's not going to work out well. And that's going to be another round in the favor of PU. Again, they've been able to really string together these attacking rounds. It seems like the defensive side has just been struggling so much this game. And it's going to be PU just having to wait. I'm sorry, the attacking side struggling a lot. And it's going to be have the PU able to string together yet another round. It's not looking great for UCLA. I didn't think I'd say it when they went 1-7 before, but now that they're only a 2-round differential between the two different teams, if PU can just stay on their current course right now, we could very well see a tied 9-9 game coming very close to potentially even being overtime.
Yeah, and that would be incredible seeing how this game started off. That was the first round was an ace in favor of UCLA. Like, what are the odds that you see someone ace the first round in that aggressive and convincing a fashion, and you're like, yeah, totally, they're gonna go down 9-9 into going into later rounds? No, you don't expect that. But right as I say that, Cypher, poor man, cannot stay alive past the 30-second mark and just absolutely gets removed, as well as Rice. Just all of these UCLA players pushing almost too aggressively and getting caught out, because I believe Spider held that same exact spot last round. Unfortunate for him. But nonetheless, that will bring us to a 3v5 scenario for this UCLA roster. And they really, the ball is in their court as far as what do they need to do. With two people with Sheriffs and then one with the Vandal, it's looking really ugly for them.
It's looking ugly indeed, but with the final minute left in the round, not all is lost for UCLA side. They'll be pushing bathrooms. The bathroom warrior is now in effect. It's gonna be Turtles losing the gunfight against Senor. Two Titans against each other, losing out on one side of the bathroom. Of course, it's not gonna end there. It's gonna be Nojin backing up a little bit, only having a Sheriff and a Vandal in hand. It's down to the two bearded men, the Breach and the Brim, to make a victory come on out. But Yoink it all coming in from the back, not carrying the world, whether or not he's hurt or not. The operator, Scope going down to the bathroom, finding the back of M1, disabling them onto the ground, and not one but two of the beards gonna be colliding onto the ceramic tiles down below in the bathroom, with PU yet again winning another round in a row, bringing it 9-8 as they claw their way back up from the depths, coming close to their rivals who at first were seemingly invincible, but now only as mortal as they are.
Yeah, and would you say that that play was so filthy from Yoink that
He really yoinked
Smelly?
it. Yeah, I suppose so. Smelly is their beards as they hit that ceramic tiles. I mean, I don't really understand where like the bathroom part of that bathroom is, so I can only assume it's just the floor.
I think they just call it showers, but speaking of showers, that's where
Well, I
Yoink's
mean,
going. He's going to the locker room
gonna be
after
a
that
bathroom
one.
too.
Taken down very quickly. Just absolutely removed, but aggression coming out here from the Cyber Cage. Oh no! Spider gets one, but not the second. Nojin puts the no-no on him, making sure that he goes down, and this trade all around. Turtles gets the one on the smash to make sure he avenges his teammate, but Fooder eats up Nojin, leaving it in a 2v2 situation. And it's getting oh man, the potato spray, unfortunately for him. Rice coming back, striking against the higher food group, making sure that it is a 2v1 situation for his team, and Rice putting down Senior to give them another round on the board.
Beautiful work coming out overall from UCLA, bringing it back slowly but surely, entering now in the, excuse me, double digits. It's going to be them now gaining that 2-point lead again, and sure, they were comfortable before, kind of skating by a few rounds towards PU's side, but now the economy's pretty much in an even position, and ults are on the board between the two different jets. It's going to be a battle of the knives this round, if I had to take a guess. And yes, the other duelist on Purdue's side also has her ult as well, the Empress. We could very well see both going in tandem. This will be a battle of the frags coming out from both sides, and with it all colliding together, and sure, this is about to be a very visibleness-less round. No one's able to see anything. It's be blinded out, and always Nojin finding the Hellfire and the Fooder, but it doesn't end there. Turtles finding Yoink. Jet versus Jet, and it's gonna be Purdue slowly whittling away at their defenses. Another one goes down. Pros Doiskis finding Senor. The top fraggers going down. You're down to left the support to secure the win, but with the land being completely under control from the attackers, it's gonna be a very, very difficult ride for the Killjoy and for the Cypher to bring it all back. The Killjoy in heaven right now, about to go to heaven if she peeks again, but no, Turtles keeps missing. The man who got an ace the very first round, not able to land a simple shot. Smash able to bring it back into this distraction. Spider taking out Prodoiskis, and again, the last one alive through the walls, finding another one, a 2v1, but that timer's still going down. But unfortunately, that timer will go all the way down to the very bottom. Spider will meet their doom, and Turtles, after 3 or 4 shots, eventually get a very simple op kill.
Yeah, in a CS, that's what you call a back shot right there. He removed his head through the wall, and that's one of those moments where, as a player, you just gotta hold your head in your hands and be like, sigh, sigh, and just kind of just wallow in self-pity almost. It's like, okay, you can have that one, because there's really no way you can respond to that. You're running away, and all of a sudden you just get shot in the back of the head through the wall. Unfortunate for him, but what's more unfortunate is the concept that UCLA is almost losing this game. Well, they are 2 rounds from the win. It is looking very suspicious as their chances of holding that lead, as Purdue has been putting rounds on the board this half, and it's really up to them. It's their fate is in their own hands, if I can just get words out.
In their own hands indeed, but shooting off the hands of Turtles already. It's going to be Yoink getting a much more complex and, frankly, easier shot, it seems. Prodoiski is, of course, going to be falling down next. Two of the big clutchers of UCLA's side, struggling with words as well, going to be falling down flat on their faces. Of course, that's not going to stop the aggressive peaks from there. It's going to be the Yoink going into the air. Unfortunately, going to be Yoink themselves. Kwan with the operator, possibly Turtles from the past. Going to be falling or taking them down, but the spike, of course, goes down as well. The flank coming out from Senor, looking around to see what they could possibly do, but the Phoenix is in a very bad position right now. Able to hold down U-Haul by themselves, yes, but the Killjoy coming far on the left, but the right side falls first, and Rice finds that Reyna and finds Spider as well. Beautiful. Quan finding Pooter as well, and Rice with a 3K, unexpected but welcomed, bringing things back to match point for map number 1. It's going to be a 4-point lead. Now UCLA have woken back up. We call that a Reggie gig as Bonsai. They start off with a slow start, and now they're back on their momentum.
Yeah, the momentum is very much back with UCLA. That was an absurd showing from Rice that round. Absolutely putting the headshots one after another, making sure his team gets that much closer to the dub, and he will, in fact, secure his team the match point. So they just need one more round to actually finish this map off and go on to the second map, which is, for those who haven't heard, it is going to be, once I locate it, it's going to be Bind, with UCLA actually defending first. So they're rocking and rolling.
Beautiful work. After all, it's going to be already losing one member right off the rip. It's going to be the Reyna gone, the top fragger for Purdue. Another one falls next. It's going to be Spider, unfortunately not able to secure themselves in the very final round. It's seeming like Smash able to find Nojin as well. The spike has gone down. Killjoy ults all over the board. There is no way to move around anywhere on this site. Excuse me, it's gonna be
I'm a dum-dum. This is Bind.
Yes, a 4v2 right now. The next one, Haven, and Haven is where Smash goes. Turtles finding one, but almost able to find another. 16 health in a dream, needing to get a 1v3 and the defuse down, only with an operator in hand. The spline can only do so much. Ori in the blind forest, not gonna be here today. Yoink finding the final kill, but the immediate refrag from Rice is gonna send them 5 points ahead. UCLA securing map number 1 over Purdue University. Whew, I'm sweating.
Yeah. I am. That map was explosive, to say the least. You have a combat ACS of almost 300 coming out on Turtles there. 21-11 coming out for his final score on that map. And we will be heading over to Haven for the second map. And I am very curious to see how that map goes, especially since UCLA is actually defending first. And that was what appeared to be on this side their strongest side. So starting off again on an extremely strong side for them. It's curious to see if we're actually going to go see if they're going to run it down the same way that they did on this map.
Yeah, overall, I'm curious to see how much the dynamic for the attackers are going to change going on to Haven. We are going to be going to a small break in a little bit. So, audience, feel free to ponder with us how it's going to change for both teams. But a dominant performance from UCLA, I'm fully expecting to see that carry over into Haven, at the very least on their attacking side. But yeah, defense might be able to do a little bit as well. But if they are able to string together those attacking rounds again, I think we're going to see a clean 2-0 tonight.
Mm-hmm. But right before we do say that, we're going to go to break, and we'll see you all on the other side of that break.
If we try to believe in anything greater than a miracle, it wouldn't be this difficult. If we try to be a negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. If we try to believe in anything greater than a miracle, it wouldn't be this difficult. If we try to be a negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. Negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. Negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. Negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. Negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. If we try to believe in anything greater than a miracle, it wouldn't be this difficult. If we try to be a negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. If we try to believe in anything greater than a miracle, it wouldn't be this difficult. If we try to be a negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. Negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. Negative bull, yeah, we could.
Are you tired of playing online tournaments for no glory and fake online trophies? How about you start playing for a little bit of glory with GLG? Not only do we host real prize pool tournaments, we professionally broadcast them live on Twitch.
As Beefcake really can't find anything. Hydro finds two through the flash. Can he find the third? The offset's gonna miss. He finds the three. He finds the fourth. Hydro is on fire. This man is putting his team in the backpack to try to win this tournament.
We've got casters, highlight videos,
Oh! Sweet Pea with the blind shot.
player features, the whole shebang. Are you ready for your little bit of glory?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CEA GLG helping a little bit tournament going on. We have UCLA versus Purdue, and it's been, I mean, I feel worn out already after that first map. I am drenched in sweat right now. I mean, was it good for you too, Bonds? I feel like I
It's
need to
amazing
say that
to
after
me,
that
as
game.
long as I can remember how this game works. I had so many struggle bus moments in that first one, but calling the sheriff a judge, saying the wrong maps, it was a struggle overall. But for those of you who do want to know what's happening, Purdue was defending first on Haven, which is the second map. And getting into this one, the comps coming out of this are Killjoy, Omen, Cypher, Reyna, and Jet for the defensive side of Purdue. And on attack, you got Omen, Breach, Jet, Phoenix, and Cypher coming in for UCLA. And what we do see is Turles and Yoink respectively coming back in on that Jet carry op they were showing so much finesse on last map, with Turles actually just running out of the gate with an ace, which a highlight for the ages to be sure.
Oh yeah, by all means. Speaking of the struggle bus, though, we did see Purdue go 1-7 for the first quarter or so of the first half of the game, and while they did almost, come very close to bringing him back, they just were not able to make it all the way. They're going to be starting on defense this time on Haven, which is debatably, again, not the most ideal position for them to be in, but it really comes down to the team composition. Speaking of that team composition, however, it's going to pretty much be the same across the board. The only major difference, however, is that we do see, I believe, Nojin no longer going to be the Brimstone, now going to be going for the much more mobile and I think a little bit more flexible Omen pick.
And definitely the Omen pick is something I like to see, especially because Omen is kind of OP if you know to play him correctly. He has 2 teleports, 1 short range, 1 long range, although his long range is his ult, but it does only take 7 charges. So it is basically if you die 7 times, you kill someone 7 times, you're good to go.
Oh yeah, that's easy.
Or you just get the ult orb. So there's many different ways you can get that big TP off. But with this triple site map, it's going to get very interesting for this attacking side and the defending side both, as the defending side has to worry about 3 different sites, but the defenders have so much they can just run around with. And as I'm saying that, speaking of the triple site, it is just a free C site for this UCLA squad to just walk onto, and it's going to go spike down very early. The recon bolt does go out. Nothing to be garnered from it, though. It does look like. But, ooh, the lurk from Turtles gets the attention of one, but will not be able to finish it off as Rice gets the headshot onto Senior, and another one with Nojin putting the no-no onto Smash, and quickly getting free fragged with Spider taking down Turtles, the star player of UCLA getting taken down. And now you're in a 2v4 situation with Purdue quickly evening things out almost with 3 now on the side of UCLA. Can they get another to make it even? The answer is yes, but right as I say that, kills all around, and the first round does go in a chaotic fashion over to UCLA.
A very chaotic fashion indeed. Now, it's a little interesting that we saw Purdue go for their defensive style as it was. We saw a lot of emphasis being put on B and A site, which is all well and good, except that's not where the attackers went. They went for C, and pistol rounds going for a C rush is really common to see. So it's interesting that we didn't really see too much equipment being put down on C to block the way of the entire team going on by. I think we did see one tripwire go down, but the cameras were placed on B, and I think one trip was placed on A. But overall, no bodies were defending that, but it looks like an absolute war coming out from the sewers. The little goblins themselves emerging from the depths of the murky waters of the sewers itself. Senor able to find Sokies, and that's going to be Turtles clapping back just a little bit more. But the kill feed goes back and forth, red to green, but double red indeed. It's going to be Purdue, the last one alive there. Not going to be alive for long as Fooder. It's going to be taken down by Rice yet again. Another classic kill, a classic kill indeed, with the classic coming out from Rice. I mean, so far it seems like Rice is able to kind of dominate the Fooder group. You know what I mean, Bonsai?
Yeah. And honestly, strong showing so far to this attacking side for UCLA, much to the pretty much opposite of what we saw on the side of Bind, with just absolute struggle happening on the side of UCLA with not being able to get those rounds together. They did it in the end, but it was still more so in the side of Purdue on that defending side for Purdue. And now that they're on the defender side for this map, it's looking like the opposite's happening now.
The opposite happening indeed. We are seeing a bit of a much more aggressive push onto the garage side of things coming out from UCLA's side. This can be really risky, especially with Food playing with that judge, not a sheriff, a judge hiding behind the crates there, but no way, fam. Thank you, ma'am. Not able to find enough. It's gonna be Rice taking down Fooder, and already C-site well underway. Free agency coming out as Turtles find Smash, and again, that spike plant's gonna go down, and well, there's a close-up kill right there from Yoink, and Senor able to get 2 of his own. It's not looking great for the attackers. Able to hold a little bit of the site, but slowly being dwindled away like a knife to soap. Rice able to even things out just a little bit more, but the Jet and the Breach able to clap things back little by little, finding Mquan, and that's going to be only Rice who was able to clutch out the ending of last round. Of course, it wasn't much of a clutch, but he got the final kill, getting 3 here. He might be able to find a 4th if he can land that final shot, but switching weapons right at the wrong time. Bonsai, it's gonna be Spider able to win out against all the Rice.
Yeah, and it was very, very close there. As if you look closely, the flick shot from Rice was very nearly on the head of the remaining player of Purdue, and UCLA, and it was just very, very close there, and it was just unfortunate circumstances that Rice could not finish that out, and Spider in the end getting it for his team.
Very true. It came down quite literally to the final shot between the 2 different agents. Had Rice, I'm not sure if he did run out of ammo. I'm not sure. I'm sure the chat will be happy to tell us, but had Rice not switched his weapons, that easily could have been a 3-round spree coming out from University of or whatever school.
University of California, Los Angeles. You're close.
You know, close enough. You know what? I got rejected from that school. I guess I blocked it out of my memory. Turtle taking down Spider. It's going to be the Breach going down already, and Senor able to clap it back just a little bit more. Top fraggers versus top fraggers again. Senor moving away from the Raina pick now to a more supportive role. Still able to frag out, but only getting 1 this round. It's going to be Proskis instead, able to find some, but Hellfire going down everywhere. Not the ult, but the actual fiery depths from below. Able to just clap back and forth.
That flick from Yoink was absolutely disgusting, but almost gets the kill on the... Oh my goodness, the drop down does come through, and he does get one kill on the Nojin, but will not be able to finish it out as UCLA strings together another round, and their economy is starting to build here.
And that's what you really want right now for these beginning rounds. And of course, that applies to the second side as well. But the second side at times can be a little bit easier. You understand the relative attack formats or even defense, depending on which side you are. But right now, it's about figuring out how both teams operate and then building your economy on top of that as well. It's not an easy feat, and we see Purdue being put in that back heel position right now for going on the save round. Spider, of course, going to be deviating away from that a little bit, going for the Sheriff pick. But is that really going to make too much of a difference against heavy weaponry that we see UCLA churning out on their attack? This could be another UCLA round right off the rip, and having a 4-1 split, definitely not something we want to see too often, but we've seen Purdue also clap back heavily from huge odds.
Yeah, and these pistols are really going to... Oh my goodness! Spider just goes out and one digs Nojin, just absolutely removing him from the map. And what we were talking about with Boba, immediately clapped back by Turles, making sure that his teammate did not die in vain. And a little happy corner going on from over here.
Ooh, very happy indeed.
Very, very. Two classics chilling in a corner. And ING. First comes love, then comes kills, then maybe comes the round in a baby carriage.
I don't think so, because they're not wearing masks.
Oh, you're right. But that's not all. We will be seeing a heavy rotate. Excuse me, choking on my own.
You should wear a mask too, it seems.
Yeah, choking on my own spit. It's not a fun experience, but the heavy push comes in on to A. And the execute will yield a spike plant. It does look like as no one is even remotely close to getting on site for this team, for this PU defense. And the Hunter arrows do come out, the walled arrows that make me sad as it does do team damage, and I have been killed by those before. It's pain. But Breach Ult does come out, and we will see a very heavy push back, and it's all up to 4 Jet Yoink. Oh man, almost gets the first one, but will be stunned very hard, and almost gets domed by the second, and will eventually go down to Turles, proving again that he is the Jet player to be feared in this matchup, and will be another run on the board for UCLA.
Unfortunately, we're going to say goodbye to the yellow brick road of Turles. They lived their life like a candle in the wind, and they weren't able to clutch out that round either. It's going to be 4 in a row now for UCLA. Not the best split in the world, like I had said before, but Yoink this time clapping back with an operator's pick, spending all of their hard-earned money on this, and it looks like it's gonna be a force buy pretty much right around everybody. That's what you really need to do right now, because they are not in the most preferable situation, especially on the defense, which in attack shooter is statistically always going to be better, except for very, very big exceptions. Haven being possibly one exception, and UCLA proving that point here. But even then, the force buy is a very scary notion if they can't win this round. Oh, hello, welcome back.
We have a pause, which is why you see our lovely faces yet again. So talking about that first couple rounds so far, absolute clinical aim coming out of both these teams. You have
like a surgeon.
Just absolute Spider running out, I believe, in mid with the Sheriff and removing Nojin from that round.
Quick draw McGraw.
Quick draw McGraw indeed. And then also just, as I'm looking at the scoreboard, at least on the 3-minute delay, we are having a lot of high kill counts on this team with 6, and maybe I think actually at 8 right now, depending on what we're at right now from the scoreboard. But just absolute filth coming out of both these teams so far. As that Guardian shot was on, I believe it was Yoink on short, was disgusting. We had the Sheriff shot, which was equally just like all of these amazing highlight reel plays, and I'm so glad we can see them here tonight.
Absolutely. Of course, when it comes to CEA, you should expect to see this a lot coming from Valorant, already setting a very high bar for what's to come in the future. I mean, the very first round we saw here tonight was an ace. Tell me how many other tournaments you've seen start off with an ace. Come on, Bonzi, name all of them. You like Valorant, name all of them. Yeah, exactly. That's why CEA, that's where it's at. I'll take my check now.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, it looks like we're still paused right now. So far, Purdue have been struggling a lot yet again. We did see them go for a huge shift of momentum coming around towards the end of the first half. They were able to bring it more so in the second half as well, but that was a very attacker-sided game, all things considered from both teams. This side, of course, this map could be a different story, and so far, it's not looking like too much of a different story, where the attack is able to really dominate over everybody. But we're still going on. It's not too late. Of course, this tactical timeout, this pause, could be beneficial for both teams. Just kind of huddle themselves back together, get back into a single linear line of thought to see what's going on. And I think we'll be getting word from our producers too, figuring out what's going on.
Okay.
Yes, apparently we're getting some lag issues right now, which I don't blame them. If I was lagging in Valorant, I wouldn't be happy either. But UCLA struggling a little bit, which is funny enough. They're the ones lagging, and even then, with this seemingly big old, I don't know, cinder block hurling them on their ankles, they're still able to clutch together all these beautiful rounds. To me, it didn't even look like they were lagging.
It looks to me like they're using that ball and chain of lag and absolutely bashing it over the head of their opponents right here. As it has been an absolute, just taking the ball and chain. It's like, take my lag, take my missing packets, and eat it, and just boom. But
I wouldn't have guessed. I really wouldn't have.
Although looking back, I did see a little bit of a ping spike with someone hitting like 120 ping. So, actually 180. Good lord, but that is some intense lag. Although both of these one of these teams are on the West Coast. I'm not quite sure where Purdue is, so I couldn't tell you if they're going across the country, because I do know that occasionally that does happen where you have teams in different time zones in different parts of the country.
I hate to be that.
Yeah,
I hate to be that guy, but all I know about Purdue is their citation machine. The only reason why I got through high school English, college English, and probably even more future English.
But we're getting a little bit of a coming back into the game. Actually, it looked like a replay for a second, but I was bamboozled by my own mind. We are getting back into the game here, and it is round 6 for all of you people who can count, unlike me. And we will be getting into a juicy one. It does look like here, as there is a heavy execute presence coming in onto a. Oh my goodness, the TP does come through Omen, and we'll take down 2. But it is Cyber who had said gets those kills. Turtles, he's the only one to trade back for his team so far. 2 down on UCLA, and the execute still coming through. No spike planted yet, as the spike is still hanging out in A long, but Yoink does kill Turtles, bringing it to a 2v4 now. 4v1 now, 3v1. It's kills dropping all around him. Quan gets 1, but not another. Yoink taking it down with a 3K to give them their second round of the map.
2 rounds in a row now for Purdue University from Indiana, it turns out, and I do apologize for my ignorance. I am not much of a geologist. I really don't know where anything is located. I use a GPS to go 20 minutes to anywhere else. Local McDonald's, of course, GPS, everything like that. Not too much of a difference, but it is what it is. But hey, focusing on this right here, Purdue University able to string together 2 rounds now. Unfortunately, the pattern going on where for every round that Purdue wins, it's going to be 2 in the belts of UCLA. Right off the bat, we do see Yoink trying to go for 2 seemingly very quick operator shots, not able to find any. No one, in fact, peeking B window, but it's going to be a very big push, it seems, either going towards garage or a little bit of a stall out from UCLA's side, just taking their time to figure out what they want to do going forwards, and maybe even trying to bait out the locations of the defending members.
Yeah, and the cyber cage will go down on A long, so there is at least a presence known to be had over on A long. Oh my goodness, he does get the drop. Senior got the drop on Pros, but somehow Pros is the one who gets the kill. I'm not quite sure how that went down, but it is because of pistols. Another one. Oh my goodness. The execute comes through, and Smash almost gets the classic kill onto Turtles, but will not get it. Breach all goes down, and so the spike is canceled. But we still have plenty of bodies to go through here, as the Bucky gets nothing. And oh my goodness, Yoink with that op has been an absolute savage, making sure that his team at least has a fighting chance in these rounds. And it is still all up to this PU defense to actually get inside. And one come through, another one comes through, Crossfire comes through to make sure that one more drops, and it is all up to the remaining Yoink to have this op shot to change the game, change the round. Can he get it off? He has no idea where the other 2 are, but will actually start making his way down from heaven, and the spike is rapidly ticking down, so he's going to make his move now.
Definitely not a great position for Yoink to be in whatsoever, especially with such a powerful weapon. Not so great up close. Of course, if you're able to land that shot, you have to stand, for the most part, perfectly still. So he's going to be looking for those exit frags, standing way too close to that diffuser. Not able to find a single one. All three going on by, but not able to land a single hit. It's going to be the rest of the attackers escaping with their lives, going away from the spike as they run in victory for winning yet again another round. It's going to be not one, but 5 rounds now for UCLA, and Purdue slowly still being left in the dust. They're able to win these gunfights this time around. Last map they did struggle with the gunfights quite a bit, but this time they're able to win the gunfights, but the post-plant situation has seemingly been a struggle for them.
Yep, and I am getting word that Purdue is located in Indiana.
Yes.
So there is a little bit of a trend, there is a little bit of a hike that has to go through. But I do want it to be known that it is not because we are biased, it is purely because we suck at geography and cannot figure out where the heck anything is because we are dumb. And that is why we make mistakes in the chat.
As a native Rhode Islander, I have never needed to go anywhere within a 20-minute radius.
It's because your state is as small as my pinky finger. It is.
Yes.
It's tiny. But speaking of other things that are tiny, it is the chance of Omen surviving here as he gets taken down by Turtles, who sprint into sight, and just absolute destruction. And the free plant coming down as the plant does go down. And now it is all to the remaining side of Purdue to actually get anything done here. Yoink has the op again, but it is just, ooh, man.
Not the best position for for Purdue right now. They're able to not really get back onto their native bomb site once again. Those that do try to like smash are able to be swiftly met by a barrage of bullets by not one but 2 different people. It's gonna be the Omen and the Cypher finding their bullets into the bodies. But Yoink again, the last one alive, last of 2, able to find one on MK Quan. But again, this is a given up round for Purdue. All they can do is look for the exit frags, but no, it's gonna be them going the opposite direction, going down C-Long yet again and licking their wounds for yet again another round. Purdue need to figure out what's going on in their defense and really how they're giving up on these bomb sites so quickly.
Chat has very taken much exception to the fact that he said geology.
I know. I did it on purpose, don't you worry. Well, there are rocks in the ground, and the ground is what they cardiographed. I mean, come on, it's basic science, but I'm not a scientist.
And I'm pretty sure cardiograph is a measurement of the heart. I'm pretty sure you're looking for cartography.
You know, I'm an art student.
I'm a STEM student. It's okay. I'll back you up at least a little bit.
Oh, sweet.
Or former STEM student. I graduated.
Oh, I have.
Well, it's a process. Everyone gets there eventually. It's just a matter of effort.
That's very true. A process right now, too, for Purdue. Able to kind of figure out what's going on. And keep in mind, look at the map above as well in your upper left corner. They're spread out completely, and it's going to leave Yoink in a very interesting position of looking around for enemies that are not there. Of course, he doesn't have the info that going down A, it's going to be the majority of the team members, but it's going to be free credence for the rest of UCLA to make their way onto the site. Turtles getting a double kill, able to find their way finally back again. And it looks like an attempted flank coming out from the breach. Tripwire not going to be found by him. It's going to be the spike plan going down, and with this attempted pinch coming down on Purdue's side, they need to win these gunfights because even though it's a pinch, they are still a man down and at times maybe even out-weaponed. Of course, as I say that, it does even out a little bit, and of course, as I say that, it becomes not so even again. Booter, the last one alive, needs to be able to string together either 3 kills or sneak his way onto that defuse. But there's almost no way he can get the defuse down without taking at least 1 body with him. So he's going to have to accept his fate of yet another round for UCLA being gone in their favor.
Yeah, and he might actually get some kills here.
Hello.
There's 1. There's not 2. I got juked again by the aim of food there, thinking that he did have it, but in fact did not, unfortunately for him. But that does mean that he does lose the round and his life, but it is still UCLA up by 5 rounds. So definitely nothing to be ashamed of here, as Turtles is still popping off. He's getting all these entries.
To be fair, this is the same, or actually this is a better scoreline that we had seen from Purdue's side. They were previously 7-1, and this is where they really started to make their comeback. Of course, this is I was Bind, this is now Haven, so it won't be the same exact situation per se, but there's a very good chance that they can still attempt to rewrite history. Now the information's out, the Owl drone had gone down, giving credence and information to show that, hey, they're all going to be attacking A. We're going to see a swift rotate coming down from the members. It seems a Purdue side. Smash able to get the opening frag down onto Turtles. Rice, however, clapping back, taking down Senors. We top frag versus top frag going down. Nojin finding Smash as well, and skating together these two kills combined. It's definitely not the look you want to have on Purdue's side.
Not at all. And the blind misses everybody, and Rice quickly putting down Breach, putting him in the ground. And now we do have a response of the Breach coming on the other side, trying to get the Jet out of here. But we do have a very aggressive push from both the remaining people of Purdue, and it is a net gain of 0. And that will be an 8th round on the board for UCLA. And with 2 rounds left in the half, actually, I can count. We do have a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, but it does mean that Purdue's going to have a stellar attacking side.
Absolutely, and we did see their attacking side, again on Bind, be pretty exceptional when it comes down to them being able to wrap around those rounds and almost bring it back. Towards the end of the second half, they did lose that steam again, and they lost by a 5-point margin. But right now, I think Purdue is spreading their defense way too thin. Right now, we do see pretty much every single person not able to back each other up on Purdue's side, and they're taking on these individual 1v1s in a position they really shouldn't. Proof in point there, case in point, Sweet Turtles taking out Fooder, and of course, Turtles backing them up, taking down Spider as a second kill, and that's gonna be 2 flankers going down in the names of Sova, and I believe Yoink gonna be trying to find that Cypher. Cypher does go down, but at what cost? That cost is gonna be Seaside taking over, but that plant's gonna go down, and Turtles is just taking the rest of the map for his own little joyride. Smash goes down as well, and now we're back again to a familiar story of a 2v4.
Yeah, and unfortunate for, I believe it was, I want to say Cypher. He had his back to the rest of UCLA as he was going through, and just narrowly missing a double peek from both Jet and Sova, but does actually, or not Jet and Sova, Jet and I believe Breach, but unfortunate overall. And now the remaining Purdue players are stuck here in Cubby, and Rice will take one down, and the second one drops the Turtles as he gets his 3rd of the round, making sure that his team stays well ahead of this Purdue defense.
Yeah, unfortunately, even after that tactical timeout, it's just a big issue of spreading your defense out too far. You're covering too many areas at once, and something that we did see Purdue kind of evolve into over time is a bad habit, because in round 1, the pistol round, which is generally a much more different consolidated round, we didn't see any of the defenders on C side at all, but on B and A all being packed together like sardines. Unfortunately, it didn't go well in their favor either. Some lucky rounds had come out for Purdue's side, but they haven't really been able to find much consistency in this first half. Operator Shotgun a miss, and barely coming out with the rest of his life, MK Kwan. Barely able to make it out there.
Very aggressive plays coming out here from Rice as well, popping the ult, and Jet soon to follow in after him with the dash. And they have full control of C-side again as the Phoenix ult runs out, but it is a full send onto the C-side. And this is the second in a row where this UCLA team's gotten onto the C-side with pretty much no resistance whatsoever. It's always been one person sitting on C and very quickly dispatched. But the recon drone will see one, and this Jet may die to these Hunter arrows. And that is, it's looking like it, and he does get one, but Rice quickly trades it out, making sure that Smash pays for his teammate Sins. And oh man, Breach almost caught off here. Spider getting engaged from the garage, and now it is just a game of tapping the bomb until people peek, and it is the peaks that come out, but oh my goodness, instead of the peekers winning with peekers advantage, it is the defenders who get the round.
Oh, maybe not. 0.11 seconds left. Through the skin of their teeth, and maybe even less than that, we see Purdue win that final round on the first half with a very narrow defuse. Of course, now they are going to be on the attacking side. More often than not, attacking on Haven is much easier than defense because you don't have to spread yourself as much. You can go as a single unit, of course, with some exceptions of roamers and flank watch as well. But overall, this should be a potential great cause or a great chance of a comeback coming up from Purdue's side. We had seen it once before, and I have a lot of faith that we'll see it again.
Yeah, and it's really coming. I just don't know where the C pressures. Are they going to put more people on C? Because it's been every time. It's been just C pushes over and over and over again. and just absolutely taking them with ease, but Jet almost loses her life there to a very aggressive barrage push, and it is going to look like they're going to continue going through. The recon bolt goes through, so they will know that Turtles is running out, as we did get a side swap here, I do believe, at that point, and Spike goes down, so now it's a very awkward situation, but ooh, man, Jet tries to hover to get out of the sticky situation, but we'll go down to it, and Pistol's going down all around. My goodness, this is a mosh pit of kills, as another one drops for UCLA, and it is another one dropping to give Purdue the first round of the half, and already off to a similar mirror matchup type deal where it was last map. We had Purdue doing really well on, pretty poorly on attack, and then going really well in defense, and now we're on the flip side of that again over here, so the mirror is proving to be just as clear as we had in the first half of this map.
Absolutely. It seems like they both go for the same common tropes where one side will be a little bit weaker than the other, and so far Purdue has had a flawless attacking run, already seemingly identified a weakness about having the lack of people on C site, has been quickly corrected from UCLA's side. They're going to be having a lot of bodies now towards C side, of course. Purdue realizes that, hey, this will probably be the case. Let's go for A instead, and they're having a lot of luck there. Tripwire does go into effect, but really not much resistance again. Purdue able to skate their way onto the A site, able to get that spike down seemingly. Marshall shot being taken out by Senor, and just an absolute sea of blood coming out from Purdue on the kill feed as they bring things to a much more advantageous man count.
Yeah, and with the kills coming through yet again for the Purdue defense, oh my goodness. Stinger is stinging really hard on the UCLA side, with Purdue just mowing through them. That $1,000 investment paying off in spades, as it gives them another round to go with, and the comeback may be happening here.
Absolutely. The huge disadvantage we had seen from Purdue before, the 7, I believe, or maybe 8-2, was not the look, but 9-5 is a much more healthy scoreline for Purdue right now, and it shows a lot more of an opportunity for them to bring it back. The mental game super strong right now, just need to win a few more to potentially even things out again. Of course, this has been a very similar story that we had seen on Bind, where they started getting those rounds back. The momentum was up, but then UCLA brought it back again. That's where we saw that 13-8 scoreline. Fooder able to get that opening kill on the MK Kwan, and again, rushing onto the C site. Nojin able to find one before quickly falling. Spider following up as well, and that's going to be the C site taken over yet again.
Yeah, C is an absolute battlefield this map so far, with both teams favoring it heavily as the bloodbath just continues to ensue. But it is now a 1v3 situation for poor Cypher for UCLA, and he will get peeped full swing and destroyed by his clone and Smash. And just like his namesake goes, he does smash the rest of that UCLA team for that round, and now we are 3 rounds off from a tie game.
3 rounds off indeed, and that might sound like a lot, and it is, but it's also not a lot in the hands of Purdue. So far, they've gone completely flawless on their attack, and UCLA are having a very similar struggle that Purdue was when they were on defense as well. They're putting a lot of their resources, and in this case, almost nearly 4 stacking on C site for the common push that has been taking them over quite a bit. But again, not going for the same push again twice in a row. It's going to be Purdue are going for A site. It's going to be a quick rotation, however, immediately not seeing anyone from C besides the Sova being identified. It's going to be a 3 stack now brought onto A from UCLA's side. I'm curious to see how this is going to go next, but no, 400 IQ seemingly coming out from the attacking side. They're going to rotate their way over, already having a little bit of a recon drone, quite literally now, instead of a Sova, but his little robot as well, scouting out C site to see who's there. Rice finding the opening pick on the Yoink All, and that is going to be a fantastic opening pick for UCLA as they get that numbers advantage for the first time in the second half.
Yeah, and speaking to that differential, 3 rounds is really only just over 4.5 minutes roughly, so definitely a very small span of rounds to actually go through here. And if we do have a aggressive push coming into the A side of all things, it is UCLA actually clapping back here and making sure that their team has actually not even lost any players yet in 50 HP alone, so it's very healthy for the UCLA side. A very clean round out of them thus far, but they do know one is inside window, and Food puts down Rice
30 seconds
in
left.
window, just absolutely cooking him. And now it is all left down to the 2 remaining players of Purdue still, but it is getting a little sketchy here.
as there's 20 seconds left, and Purdue does have to get the spike onto site, and they are trapped inside a garage right now, it does seem.
Not the best position
man.
to be in right there. It's going to be Smash, the last one
seconds
alive,
left.
huddled into a small little corner in a 1v4. Sure, one pick did go down on UCLA side, but it's definitely not the situation you want to be in after winning so many rounds in a row. A very dominant round coming out from UCLA after a very, very dominant performance from Purdue for the last 4 rounds in a row. Unfortunately, this might be where the road ends yet again. A story told once before on Bind between the two teams. The momentum, once they were given to it again on UCLA, did not stop before, but Purdue were able to keep the train going longer on Bind before by going 8 before that string of rounds happened again. It's not too late, like we said before. Again, however, Purdue might be able to bring it back. Their economy is not in a bad position whatsoever, but we're going to see a much more faster, aggressive plays, and it looks like the same coming from UCLA as well, coming out from outside garage. A collateral kill from Turtles, getting not 1 but 2 of the support players, leaving the single lone duelist almost by themselves, having the brunt of the damage now resting on them for the rest of the round. The Sova and the Omen, the 2 other lurkers, needing to pull in their weight as well, and a seemingly now, as soon as the round began, a 3v5 to bring things home.
Yeah, and Purdue had a 2-for-1 special there. The Collat coming out of Turtles there, making sure that he had the absolute most economical action possible for that beginning round, but now we have it in a very dangerous situation here. Purdue, as with 3 players remaining, they are in danger of getting an 11th round for UCLA, and that is very bad for them, as the closer you get to 13, the higher the pressure for you to actually come back, and it is looking like a little bit of a B push right now, as all of the players from Purdue are pushing towards B bomb site, but there is an Omen on site to play spoiler, and that spoiler may come through, but he does narrowly miss getting absolutely destroyed by an upshot. The swing comes through from Cypher, making sure that he gets a kill. Notion gets another. 1 player remaining. Poor Yoinks, all by his lonesome, fleeing from this absolute death ball that is the UCLA squad. Rice putting him to bed, making sure that his team secures their 11th round.
A wild goose chase at the very end there. Of course, Purdue did not give up. Sure, they lost a collateral at the very, very first seconds of the round, but they still tried a very unique strategy. They were looking around, scouting what the next best plan of motive was, and they decided to go for B site. That was the only time so far in this map where we have seen even an attempt of the B plan go down for the attackers. Of course, it was not very successful. The diffuser nearly made it onto the site. Kudos to them. But unfortunately, the huge collapse from both the C link and from the A link was just too much. It ended in a wild goose chase with that jet being chased around the entire map. But again, this goose chase is going to keep on going, this time in the reverse. Hunter's Fury already going down, blinded everywhere. Nojin in a very bad spot. Going to be taken down, and full on agency going on to C site.
Yeah, and that agency is going to transfer probably into a spike plane here. Actually, no, they forgot spike at the end of C long. No one has the spike, and I don't think they've realized. The realization comes through now as Sova starts to make his way back. Maybe not. No, he does act. Oh, but right as he goes back for it, he gets 1. Gets dropped. 2 other his teammates. Rice taking down, getting a triple. Unfortunate. You gotta remember the spike, brother. Cypher ults to add insult to injury, so they know exactly where it is. And oh my goodness, Rice making sure that he gets his stardom in his little highlight reel plays. He gets the 4K on the round, putting his team at match point, and possibly the 2-0 victory for his team coming out of this game.
Definitely not an ideal situation to be in, but of course, if you're relatively new to Valorant or haven't seen that strategy before, it's not the worst situation to leave that spike towards the base of C long. You want to make sure you cover the site, and if there's too many different bodies and you don't have the intel for C, leaving the spike on the ground, make sure it doesn't go too far. You're able to rotate out, pick that spike back up as you go to either B or A site. Unfortunately, there were not enough people on C. They took it over, and the spike was still left behind. Of course, now potentially the final round of not only this map, but also potentially this set coming out. It's gonna be Turtles finding the opening headshot with knives, just going straight into the skull of Booter. Yoink able to clap back, taking down Turtles. It's gonna be a 4v4 now, approaching onto A as the defenders slowly losing ground, trying to make their way back, getting a double kill, triple kill from Rice. taking down so many of Purdue, leaving Yoinkall, the last one alive, and potentially the final stand of Purdue University here tonight. It's going to be Nojin and Rice trying to find this Jet one last time before the game ends, but there we go, ending it with a 4K back-to-back for the last 2 rounds. Rice is able to string together so many kills and show how dominant UCLA has been for not just one, but for 2 maps in a row over Purdue University here on CEA.
Yeah, absolute filth coming out of Rice that game. Average combat score is 353, going 25-9. If that isn't filth in a score line, I don't know what is. He combined with Pearls, absolutely putting on a masterclass of how to be an aim duelist for your team, making both the score lines look absolutely filthy and their scores in terms of KDA just unbelievable for both of these players here. And definitely, if I had to choose an MVP, it's a hard stuck challenge for me between Turtles and Rice. But Rice was putting so much together for his team on that second map.
I'm going to argue and say, despite seeing the ace come down, the MVP is going to go to Rice because he was much more consistent with his explosive plays, especially on Haven. After getting that ace, there was a huge span of time where Turtles just simply did not get any kills. He was stuck on that 8 kill margin for quite a long time, and sure, he started off with 5, but really only getting 3 for quite a long time. He eventually found his stride again and got quite a few kills, going toe-to-toe with, I believe it was Senor in the first map, but Rice able to just string it back to back. I mean, those final 2 rounds, Bonsai, getting a 4K into another 4K,
Yeah,
that is just dominance right there.
that is flex, aim, whatever you want to call it. That is him putting on a show for both his teammates and the chat and anybody else who gets to see that clip, because I guarantee you somebody's clipping that in the future. Back-to-back 4Ks, absolute filth, and I do have to agree with you, just absolute MVP showing out of him.
Yeah, it was dominant beyond recognition, and I'm sure we'll be seeing more from UCLA and CEA going forwards, but Purdue, they are able to fully correct their mistakes as well. They were not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination, and all the mistakes they made are super common mistakes that a lot of teams make in competitive play. All it takes is even maybe just VOD revealing these 2 maps, and we could see a very, very strong Purdue going forward very quickly.
Yeah, for sure. And just, I think it's also just part of the aim that was coming out of this UCLA team. The aim was just so on point for both Turtles and Rice. And really the only person who was putting much back, it was in terms of just any kind of aim on the other side, at least from my perspective, it was between Yoink and I believe Senor. Just between those 2 players, they were the star players of their team, and got to give them props to them on the first map. They were going really hard with both the Reyna and the Jet. Reyna actually just clutching rounds outright on the first map and putting down absolute great gameplay. But the second map, it just didn't come through as strong as they did on the first map. And unfortunately, that means that they are going to go down for the loss, 2-0, in fact, and it's got to clap back next week.
Absolutely, but it's not all too late. Purdue can absolutely clap back, like you said, Bonsai, next week, but it looks like we'll have to wait until then. It's been a very fun cast with you yet again, Bonsai. Hopefully we can do
As
this on
always with
Valorant,
you.
of course, much more often. Geology is the study of rocks, and Purdue is from Indiana. We've learned a lot here tonight, and hopefully going forwards, you guys have learned a lot as well in terms of Valorant, but that is all we have for tonight, and hopefully we'll see you guys next week.
Cause I'm on